Hello, welcome to Liz Rocks and Stuff. I'm Liz, and this is episode 57 of What's in My Tumbler, and we are starting out with the Prairie Agate that is in stage 2, and I'm going to warn you, I filmed the rinsing of, the first rinse of all these barrels in a rainstorm outside. So if you hear thunder, if you hear rain, that's why I just really didn't want to do this inside. So, starting out, we are going to get these Prairie Agates rinsed off. They are looking really good. I am just going to put them into a quick soap cycle just to make sure I get all of that grit and slurry off. I tend to do pretty well when I'm rinsing outside, which is why I prefer to do it this way. But it's always good to make sure that you've gotten it all off. So that was a tablespoon of grated ivory soap. And then we are going to get the lid put on. And we'll get this labeled as my soap cycle, even though you can't see it because the lid was too wet. And these are going to actually go overnight. I waited until the next day to do the second rinse on everything because I just got super busy. So this is full 24 hours later. It's nice and foamy, nice and soapy. I can see that it's clean. And if you didn't see it, there is a bug in the colander with my rocks right now. It kind of crawled up from the bottom. So when I go to put these back in the barrel, I am going to be very careful because I don't want that bug in my final batch. So you're going to see it maybe a couple of times. I'm going to try and not put it in the barrel. I did finally get it isolated to a single rock. There it goes. Put it off to the side so it can go live its little bug life and not get pummeled in a tumbler full of rocks. So putting some water back in here. This is a tablespoon of borax and 3 tablespoons of stage 3 grit. And these are going to go on the tumbler for a week. And we will see how they go. Next week they'll be going into final polish. So excited to see how these turn out. I think they're going to be amazing. And going into the Brazil mix that are out of final polish this week. I have to say I was a little bit disappointed with the mix that I ended up getting. The list of possibilities that could have been in here included all kinds of calcite, aventurine, aragonite, different types of quartz, all kinds of stuff. And I didn't really get a good mix of rocks from here. So this is from Kingsley North, and I'm pretty disappointed with what I ended up getting, because what I ended up getting was a lot of clear quartz, rose quartz, and a couple of things that look like sodalite to me, but they're not, because sodalite wasn't included in what they were sending, so maybe it's like some blue calcite or something. I don't know. They did turn out fine. I just was hoping to get a better mix of things, and there were some softer ones. This is a mixed batch. You're always going to have soft rocks that don't turn out well when you have a mix of hard and soft. So I knew there were going to be rocks that didn't turn out well. I did end up with that. So those have been put aside, and I might put them, I think I'm going to try and do like a soft batch of tumbling rocks to see if I can get them to actually look decent in a tumbler without a vibratory tumbler. So we'll see. But so this was... I did a burnishing cycle with borax, and this is me rinsing that off. And then once I get these all rinsed off, I am going to bring them inside, sort them out from my ceramic media, and see what we end up with. Now, there are a couple of rocks that I came from my rock beds, that big yellow one I just pulled out. So I'm going to put those rocks off to the right. And then the rocks that I know came from the Brazil mix are all on the left. So as you can see, there's not a huge variety of what was sent. So I'm a little bit disappointed in that. Like I said, they listed probably about 10 to 20 different rocks that could be in here. And I got maybe 4 or 5 different types. So... a little disappointed. I might see if I can find a better mix somewhere else. But this is a rock from my rock beds. It's some type of quartz. And it actually turned out really nicely. Even in that little indentation, it's still very shiny. This is some clear quartz. I have about 3 big chunks of this. It's having trouble focusing because it is clear. It looks like glass. I love how this turned out. It has sort of, you know, cracks going through it. It turned out amazing, I think. This, I think, is white quartz. And it didn't smooth out completely on the back, so I'm not sure what's going on with that. This is some rose quartz. I have about three or four pieces of this. And then there's also this smoky quartz. This is the only piece I had. I do love it. This is a really nice piece of smoky quartz. It turned out really nicely. But other than that, it was mostly just different types of quartz, but there was supposed to also be aventurine and calcite. And so some of those pieces, the smaller pieces there, might be because aventurine is a softer rock. So that could be what's in there. It didn't really get shiny, so that's kind of why I'm thinking it was some of the softer stuff is the smaller pieces. But anyway, it is what it is. So these are the final polish. These are all completely dry. They polished very nicely, and I couldn't be happier with the quartz. The other pieces I might try and retumble in a soft batch. So now, Jasper Zoo and Aquarium. This is the remainder of my Cobra Jasper and Zebra Jasper, but also with whatever random other rocks I had to fill up the barrel with thrown in. So these are going to get rinsed off. These are now a mix of, there's some moss agate and tree agate. I think there's some quartz in here now, along with all of the jasper. It is truly a mix of things. So we are going to get these in a barrel to do a soap cycle, just like I do with all of my other rocks. And so we're going to put in some water and a tablespoon of grated ivory soap, and we're going to get the lid on and put this on the tumbler overnight. All right, now rinsing these off. When I did the second rinse, by the way, it was bright and sunny outside, so there's no rain to be heard, but I did manage to drop the entire barrel into my colander. But it's fine. Nothing spilled out. So we are going to do a quick rinse. And I should be sorting these and looking for chips, but I didn't do that this time. I just kind of wanted to get these in the barrel and get them going again. So they're just going straight back into the barrel. And then I am going to put in water, a tablespoon of borax, and then whatever was left of my stage 3 grit in the container that I have. It was probably roughly around 3 tablespoons, maybe a little less. But that it's fine. So we're going to get the lid put on this and get it back on the tumbler for a week. And we will be putting these into final polish next week with the Prairie Agate. So that is exciting to have 2 barrels that are going to be coming off of final polish at the same time. So I need to kind of figure out what I want to put on in their place. So now the last barrel, which I'm calling Ruby Rose. It's the ruby zirconium and mix of other things, and part of the other things is rose quartz, which is why I have named it Ruby Rose. And this had sat for quite a while by the time I went to rinse it, so that's why there's a lot of stuff is just stuck in the bottom of this barrel. I also don't think I put in borax to help with that, so that's kind of on me too. Anyway, so now we're going to do a quick sort. That's the ruby, and there's just a bunch of a mix of other types of rocks. So if it needs more time in stage 1, it's going in the barrel. Otherwise, it's going off to the side where you can't see me putting it because I forgot to bring a cup outside with me. So this is just doing a quick sort. Again, it is thunder and lightning outside while I'm doing this, so I'm trying to get through this pretty quickly. But yeah, so mix of different types of rocks in here along with the ruby in zirconium. And so now we're going to put in, these are some rocks that I have that I just wasn't happy with their final polish, and I feel like they need a little bit more time, so I'm adding them back here in stage 1. And also going to be topping up with some more barrels from the mixed rocks that I like to get from the rock shed. And then, so topping this up with water, I am trying something new. I'm starting to put borax in my stage 1. It's supposed to help with that as well. So a tablespoon of borax and 3 tablespoons of stage 1 grit. And Ruby Rose is off into stage 1 again, probably for a little while longer. And I did end up rewriting the name on the lid after off camera. So now what am I going to put in my new empty barrel? I am finally going to start the Coquina Jasper that I bought quite a while ago. Now this is the one that it was highly recommended you do an additional stage. So there'll be like a stage 3.5 where I do 500 aluminum oxide and then 1,000 aluminum oxide, and then I'll do my final polish. And that is supposed to help get a better finish on these. So we are starting these off in stage 1 with a tablespoon of borax and 3 tablespoons of stage 1 grit. I'm going to put these on the tumbler for a week, and we will see what they look next week. I am very excited to see how this goes. I think it has a really cool pattern to it, and hopefully I can get them shiny and make them look nice. I make no promises because I've never tumbled this type of Jasper before, so we will see. So thanks for watching. That's what's in my tumbler for this week, and I hope to see you back next week.